long term?
Yeah, it's going to be at least a couple weeks ankle sprain, so it's going to be some time.
What do you think of Curtis Robinson getting out there? When I asked him about his, coming in for Tatum, he said, there are some things I need to clean up. This game, he said the same thing, but congratulations the defense. What do you think of him out there?
I thought he had a real good game. It was real clean. I thought he ran the defense real well. Got us in and out of a lot of things, made all the right calls, and it was a real good first game for him.
What were your draft thoughts on ShedeurSanders, and were you surprised he went in the 5th round, and what are your call about that whole?
I didn't put a lot of time into him personally. I knew our coaching staff thought he was a good player. The tapes that they showed me, he was a good player also. It did surprise me, just going a little bit later when he did, just hearing what everyone was estimating and stuff, but I've been in enough drafts to know that much should surprise you.
Shedeur had the interception in the end zone. You guys have had a few plays down the goal line that you're getting takeaways. Why are you able to pull that off so successfully?
I mean, when they give you the opportunity, you got to catch it. And he was given the opportunity. You saw what the quarterback was trying to think, going back to that tight end, and Jair just being free on that play, playing with vision, going and making that play. And other places on the field, we've had a few opportunities and dropped them, a few tips and things like that. And down there, it stuck to us a little bit more.
Talking about his progress this year, and it seems like he's playing at a really high level. It's been a little up and down previously for him.
Yeah, Tig's been awesome. I mean, just, when he first starting here, he replaced Huff when Huff got injured. I believe it was Huff's ACL injury. And then Tig played a real high level all the way to the Super Bowl and into the next year. And he was in and out a little bit when Huff came back. But this offseason went through a lot of rehab stuff, missed some time with camp, missed some time in the offseason. Gave guys other opportunities, which had him start off not in a safety role, which I can't tell you guys how good he handled that. He really became a very good player on special teams, which is how he started out. He was unbelievable in our big nickel role, and really just with how he was handled both those roles, we wanted to make sure we gave him an opportunity back at safety before Malik came back. And when we did, he did well in that role, and he's kept the job, and is getting better and better each week.
About his play in particular, that's really improved.
I mean, he's played like this before, so I don't want to say like he's just overall improving. I thought he played at a high level when he came in as a rookie and played for us. But I think just stringing together these weeks, when you're in and out throughout the off season with the surgery he had and the injuries in training camp, it's hard to just get better each week. And I think stringing together whatever these weeks are, 6 weeks or whatever it is, maybe more, he's been starting. You can just see him getting more consistent, getting more confident, doing his job great, and also knowing when to cheat his job and take some of the tips, and knowing when to make some educated guesses and stuff. And that's the way you make plays out there, by doing that stuff. Can't get carried away with it though, because that's the way you give plays to the other team. And I think he's found a real good balance at that each week.
How can you remember about watching Dion as a kid, and now how full circles is that you're facing his son?
It is weird, just because he was my hero growing up. He was probably the #1 player, just in terms of being a true fan of. I always talked about how he got his jersey in '94 and wore it for about 6 months straight until someone jacked it from me. I'm still looking for that guy. But no, he was such a unique player. He was just different than everyone, his talent and everything. And now to watch him be a coach and to watch him raise, I think he's got 3 boys, but to watch the 2 boys in sports has been really cool to watch. And I know my wife, my daughter, they're huge Colorado fans too. And so I get to hear about Buffaloes all the time.
Challenges do you see from Crosshair, everything that you guys are up against this week, him for the offense going into this week? How are you preparing for that?
Just preparing to go against one of the best pass rushers ever. It's a huge challenge.
What will be your process
to prepare for the potential inclement weather?
We won't go in the bubble this week. Hoping that it rains for us a little bit, get our mind right for it. I showed them a bunch of video this morning of what it looked a year ago. I think this day there, versus Pittsburgh, just a blizzard and stuff, and told them to expect it. Be surprised if it's not that way, and you expect it to be that way, so you get your mind right and you don't walk out Sunday and be shocked by anything. Besides that, we're working enough to sweat, make the balls wet that way, but we're not going to water them down or anything.
In the second half, you guys didn't take any shots down the field. Was that by design with how the first half goes, or why was that?
it's not like when we take a shot downfield, the play isn't called take a shot downfield. It depends on how they're covering it, you know. And we had 3 plays in those 3 picks in the first half. You know, I think 2 of them he was number 2 in the progression, 1 he was number 1. Most of the plays later didn't have as many deep plays, but we called a couple of those same plays again, just didn't get the right read. It just plays out that way sometimes.
A glove for Brock Purdy. I mean, does it make sense for him to practice with a glove if it's, you know, going to be different temperature here in practice versus in Cleveland?
Yeah, I always personally believe if you know you're gonna do something on Sunday and it's gonna be different, then you want to practice with it. But I always feel that's up to the individual. I mean, they're the ones who go through it. They're the pros. It's not like me suggesting a middle school kid on how to handle his first element game. You know, those guys have an idea what they're comfortable with, what they want to do, and I haven't talked to them about that yet, but I'm sure that's something I'll be thinking about throughout the week.
So the numbers show special teams wise, you guys have taken a big step forward. I know some of that is just making kicks versus not making them. But what have you seen in that regard, and how do you think that's kind of been able to come together?
Well, I mean, I think anytime you don't, missing kicks is, you know, that brings attention to everything. So when you miss a bunch of kicks, I mean, it's tough for the whole special teams. So it's been nice with just making those this year and our high percentage of it, but also eliminating blocks. I think our returners have gone, our whole return game, whether it's punt return or kick return, I think has improved each week since week 1. I think these last 5 weeks has kind of even taken off, especially in the kickoff return. So I think everyone just being more consistent, continuing to work at it, and not allowing a bad play to happen that can kind of sour. You may let one bad play happen and it kind of sours all 15. So I think it's giving those guys more confidence each week.
With the kick return, is anything particular that is working for Scotty, or you mentioned the last 5 weeks that it seems like it's taking?
I just think the more reps guys get, the more confidence they get. You know, I think Sky's always been a threat. And I think D-Rob, I don't know how many times D-Rob's done in his career. None that I know of. So I know that was new for him. But both of those guys just being the same guys back there. Sky since the beginning, and D-Rob, I want to say since like week 3 or 4. But they just keep getting better at it. And the better they get at it, the more confidence they get. The more confidence they get, I think the more confidence guys get blocking for them, the more motivated guys do, and you just collectively get better.
You go up against the one in practice and all summer long. Is Schwartz's version of it any different? What makes him such a challenge?
Not different with the front 4 and how they're coached. Changes a little bit with how they play their linebackers and their secondary. That's where it changes. But I mean, Jim's as good of a coordinator as there is. And when you're as good of a coordinator as there is, and you have the talent that they have, it's a pretty lethal combination.
KG's snap count has tapered off a little bit the last few weeks. Is that just a case of too many mouths to feed, or trying to get D-Rob more involved?
No, it's just Ricky was our starting Z, and when he went down, we moved KB to our starting Z. And when you're a starter, usually you get the ball a lot more, and you get to play a lot more. Ricky has pretty good stamina, so we don't rotate him as much. And D-Rob's done a good job owning our F role. So it's been nothing against KB, but I don't like that. I'd love to get him out more than we have the last 2 weeks.
How you check if the teams aren't really sportsmanship award nominee again? What are some of the intangibles he brings that we don't get to see?
Just how good of a football player he is. I mean, there's nothing that you put in that, I mean, guys can do stuff on paper. They can do it when it's all like set up and lined up exactly how you tell them it's going to be. But Kyle, just almost everything's slow motion for him. You get that for some quarterbacks and things like that. Sometimes the game slows down for people, but to have a fullback like that is different. The way he can maneuver through fronts with a lot of stuff going on, and even when it isn't the guy, even when other people take the wrong guy, and he can just naturally adjust and go take their guy, like you wouldn't even notice someone made a bust. So Kyle's just, and when we throw the ball to him, it doesn't matter how big of a moment, what the situation is. He always comes down with it. He gets up the field after the catch as good as anyone on our team, and just one of the better football players I've ever been around.
Are you going to do more guys won't open the practice window for anyone this week?
No.
How is Yetur Gross-Matos doing with his recovery?
He's coming along. It's been a tough year for him, missing all training camp and with his knee. And then when you do that and you come back, it makes you so susceptible to other things. And that's kind of what's been his story a little bit this year. But he's got a chance to come back, and he's working real hard at it, and I think we'll have a chance there after the bye.
What is it about Miles Garrett that makes him so difficult to scheme for?
That, I mean, even coming out to college, he's one of the most talented guys that I think anyone's ever looked at, just from height, weight, and speed, how long his arms are. When you measure just get off, I mean, his helmet crosses the line of scrimmage faster from an analytics standpoint than anyone in the NFL. So that means the get off's amazing. When you put that with amazing ability, that to me comes around very, generationally. And then you got a guy who's played in a similar system for a while, who stayed healthy, who's doing it over and over again and trying to be great. And when you have all that, how can you not be what he is? So it's been extremely impressive.
Unpracticed with those, I assume that next week you wouldn't open any practice windows?
No, not next week. Yeah.
Is Miles just a guy who gets better and better as he keeps playing?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's that talented and he works at it that much. I mean, he plays hard. He goes. He's always rushing the quarterback, yet being a real problem in the run game too. So he's like a number of those top guys. When you just look at his true ability too, he seems to separate himself from those top guys also. All right, thanks guys.
ShedeurSanders, who we saw film on Sunday.
He's a good young quarterback. He's mobile. He's got a big arm, tremendous confidence, and he made a couple of really, really good throws in the game against Vegas, extending plays, getting out of the pocket, delivering the ball where it needed to be delivered. Obviously showed good command of the huddle and at the line of scrimmage. You anticipate someone like him who's got that confidence, who has that skill set, he's just going to get better and better every week.
You talked a lot about Shedeur and kind of getting him back in. Did you expect him to kind of have a breakthrough game at some point, and how satisfying was it to see it kind of happen?
I don't know about breakthrough or anything like that. I do know what's been great is he does get better every week. And this goes back to training camp. He missed some time during OTAs with the injury, comes in training camp, kind of gets bad news that he was going to be that he wasn't going to start, but we carved out a role for him so he could stay involved, and whether he liked it or not, you couldn't tell. Attacked the heck out of it. Did everything that we asked and really helped everybody around him, was even helping the young kid at safety, Siegel, trying to get him squared away, and when he was given another opportunity to go back at safety, he's improved every single week. Definitely wanting to make sure that he can slam the door and make sure that he leaves no doubt that he's a safety. So, long story short, I still think he's going to continue improving. The biggest thing I would take away from the game for him last week is I felt like he was playing football, not football. And I always tell players, you can be a football player and do exactly what the book tells you to do, but you're the one out there shooting bullets. You're the one that's playing football. And like this second interception was just him playing football. If he did it by the book, he wouldn't have made that play. And so he's improving big time with regard to understanding the game and being more of a football player.
Like the book, what was he supposed to do?
He's supposed to be in the deep middle.
Coach, if he is out of position, trying to anticipate something, are you having to talk with him? Like, what it seems like?
There's balance, to whom much is given, much is required, right? If you study enough tape, we talk about in a game, if you say there's 60 plays, there might be 3 or 4 times in a game where you just know what that play is going to be. You know it. And you've got to have the confidence through film study and the confidence in one another, confidence in your teammates and coaches, and we got to have confidence in our players that when they know, they go take that shot. Because those are the plays when you look at a game, it's like, oh man, he had 2 interceptions, he had a TFL. Well, those were the I knew plays. And I think that's what he did a great job of on Monday night, taking advantage of those opportunities.
I was up and stout. Felt maybe a greater feel in pass coverage.
Yeah, same thing. Just it's reps. He's one of the more deliberate guys on this team. It's super important to him. He puts in a lot of work in film study, and he's always asking questions. And shoot, on Friday night, he sent me over a text of a still shot of a video from Friday's practice. Hey, if I was in and he talked about a completely different coverage and a completely different concept than the one we gave him, and was asking if they did this out of that look, what would it be? And which is a different level of thinking for a rookie. And so he's watching things the right way, and he's growing. Like I said, he's deliberate. So he's been getting better every week, and again, he's another young man that fully expect him to get better and better and continue getting better. And hopefully he's hitting his stride when we really need him to.
Like Curtis Robinson wanted to get into the spot that he's in, and then to come in and have two pretty strong performances, having to go now against the Cleveland Browns. It's a young quarterback, but being able to kind of keep the defense in it. What you think of his performance in his last game? What do you expect out of him against the Cleveland Browns?
I thought he did a really nice job. You know, like I know that he didn't fill the stat sheet up, and I'm sure, you know, from his perspective, he would love to have had that happen. But you know, you just try to put yourself in his shoes. He's had a lot of battles trying to find his way back into this, to get this opportunity on that stage with the type of game it was, playoff implications and all that on Monday night, where the entire football world's watching. I thought he did an outstanding job keeping calm, relaying, communicating, taking care of the huddle on the sidelines, making the adjustments that needed to be made, and he'll close the gap to allow him to make some of the plays that I know that he wishes he had back. But I thought he was outstanding in that regard, and again, I expect him to get a little bit better this week. And same as everybody else, like it means something to him, and because of that, he will get better.
Jair Brent did an interview, and he cited your passion as something that he really loved, and that you get, you know, you're here early and you're fired up, and does coach passion equal player passion? I mean, where did that philosophy of coaching come from, or do you show that passion to the players so that you get that back from them?
I don't know. I think everyone's different. I try to stay calm during the week because there's a lot of teaching going on, and I've tried to explain it before. Like my passion on game day is because of when Jair makes the play he makes on the second interception, and the amount of work that he put in for that one moment, right? Like there's people look at it as one play, but there's probably 6 hours dedicated to that one moment, and it happened. And so the joy you're seeing on the field is for him, and the amount of work that that he went through, and the amount of trial and error that he had to go through. And there was actually a couple plays in the game where he was that close, and it was like, just keep doing what you're doing, it's going to happen. So it's more jubilation for him than anything else, and for the player when they're having success. And so you just can't, for me, I just can't help but let that out. And so whether it affects the guys, I have no idea, because I know that for them, they're already motivated and inspired to do the best they can. And shoot, Kyle already does an unbelievable job with his messaging. So I don't know, I don't think they need it from me. It's just my personal deal.
So there we have it, y'all. Big game matchup. 49ers, historical franchise, Super Bowl winning team, going against the Cleveland Browns. Unfortunately for the 49ers, for whatever reason, they haven't been able to beat the Browns. I think they're on a 5-game losing streak against the Browns. And they're traveling to Cleveland. Cleveland already has inclement weather. They're supposed to have another 2 to 4 more inches. If the weather forecast goes as predicted, Saturday night into Sunday, Kevin Stefanski, the Browns coach, said on this Friday that when they came into the facility that the field was covered with snow, and the grounds crew did a really good job in clearing the field, and they had a good practice. So I'm looking forward to seeing this game. If you like this content, please hit that thumbs up button. I'm Randy Prentice, the host of Premier Sports Talk. Thank you for blessing the channel. And looking forward to seeing you on the next live post. Y'all have a blessed one. And if you didn't know, now you know. You heard Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh, coach of the San Francisco 49ers, prior to their game against the Cleveland Browns. They play Sunday at 1 o'clock on CBS.